Thank you, Kati Hari. Right. Good evening again to everyone, online students and physical students. So we are back in the biology class. We will be discussing more about carbohydrates, and as you all know, like we wrote one big essay in the class. What is that essay? Water essay, no? So now we are confident, like unlike in the other classes, I told the advantage of my class. What is that? We will be writing essays from the beginning, and you will be getting the marked essays. You are having an idea what are the missing points, what are the things you should improve, isn't it? So today, actually, we are going to our second essay, which is related to carbohydrates, right? That day, we finished carbohydrate. I think I have forgotten to give last example regarding non-reducing sugars. The example is sucrose. Write that and keep. Sucrose is the example for non-reducing sugar. Only example that we know in our syllabus. Done. Hi. My question is, it's actually a past paper question, 2010 A-level question. I'm going to write that in the board. What is our method? Again, that is also special to our class. We will be writing a mind map prior to a particular essay. The mind map is helping you to summarize all the points which are necessary for your essay to include, and also it will reduce the chance of losing any points when you are writing the essay. As I told you, are we having time to repeat the mind map in your exam paper? No. So you are going to write down it here, but eventually you will memorize this one. You will memorize this one, isn't it? So that mind map will appear in front of you without even writing if you are used to the mind map, right? Hari, I'll write my question over here. Giving suitable examples. Write an account on account of the basic chemical features and biological functions of carbohydrates. This is the question. Let's first of all read the question well and we'll understand the question. You know, in A-level biology, understanding question is having very good, very good weight, right? Isn't it? If you don't understand the question, what will happen? You will write something else, and the answer is not the what you expected, isn't it? So that will be a big problem if you didn't understand the question. So everyone read the question one more time. Right? Hi. So I am highlighting this one. Chemical features are asked and biological functions also asked about carbohydrate, isn't it? Those are the two major sections of the lesson essay, and you're asked to write examples for each, isn't it? When you are writing functions, especially you need to mention example also, isn't it? Am I correct? Right. So first I am taking from this one is basic chemical features of carbohydrates. That corner, can you always see that corner of the board? Online students can see, no? Okay. If anything is not visible, let me know. Alright. Now you guys need to tell me under that what we are going to write. Basic chemical feature. Those who are absent for the last day lesson, this will be a good repeat of the lesson, isn't it? Yes. So it is made up of which elements? CHO. Chemical composition. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Common formula? CX, H2O, Y, isn't it? Hari. What else are we going to write this for here? H2O ratio. What is the H2O ratio? 2 is to 1. Right. What else? What else can we write? Types of carbohydrates according to the number of repeating units, isn't it? We can add that. In a mind map, you don't need to write full sentences, but I am writing it here for you to understand, right? Right. There are three types. What are the three types, children? Monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides are the three types. Isn't it better to add they are organic compounds, carbohydrates? So I will add it here, organic compounds. A type of biomolecule also you can mention, isn't it? Right. Then what should we do? We have to describe monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides. Still asking chemical features, no? So you have to say about them. Right. So I'm taking one arm to write about monosaccharides. Right. Now tell me, children, what do we write first about monosaccharides? We are going to write the definition. Right? Definition should be written, isn't it? So here it's definition. And you can mention about number of structural units and all that. All is there in the definition itself, no? Alright, then what is the common formula? C, C, what is that? N, yes. Alright, then what else to write about these monosaccharides? Types of monosaccharides according to the number of carbon. Types of monosaccharides according to the carbonyl group present, isn't it? So I'm going to divide this into two. Carbon number, right? What is the other one? Number of, type of carbonyl group present, isn't it? Correct? Then we have to say about the name of 3-carbon compound. What's the name of 3-carbon compound? Common name? Trioses. Example? Hi. So this is a rapid summary of the last day's lesson, okay? Those who are not present, if you don't understand anything, ask, okay? Hurry. 4-carbon tetros. Example? Erythros. Very good. 5-carbon, 3 examples were there. Ribulose, ribose and deoxyribose. Others, can you all see? Can't see. If you can't see, let me know. You all okay now? This side? Right. Pentose, no? It should be pentose, ribose, ribulose, and deoxyribose. And then 6-carbon hexoses. Example, glucose, galactose, and what is the other one? Fructose. Right. So if this is not clear, you know what it is here now. Alright. So that's done. That side is done. So asking the chemical features, are we going to write a little about the nature, whether they are sweet, whether they are water soluble, isn't it? We can add those also, isn't it? Monosaccharides are water soluble, sweet in taste, crystalline form, isn't it? Correct. Okay? Then types of carbonyl group present also. These monosaccharides can be divided into 2 categories. What are the 2 categories, children? Aldoses and ketoses. Those who were not present, I will tell you what it is in like a short form. Aldoses are having C double bond OH group in their uh, structure, and these ketoses are having C double bond O like this structure in their structure. Okay, so you don't have to remember this really well, but the chemistry behind that I explained last day. If you want, you can go through the last day recordings and see. Alright? So the examples, no plainly necessary. What do we write? Aldoses example, glucose and galactose. And ketoses examples, fructose. Okay, now? Right. Now open your tutor little and see whether we wrote everything about them. Wait a little, okay? Total. Right. So this is a big summary, okay? So this is a suggestion, suitable examples, functions they ask it, no. At the same time, you can include the function also, that is no issue. Therefore, you don't need to memorize, you don't need to write it twice when you add the function at the same time, okay? But we will add them later because my one, I don't have space to write, okay? Alright, then this one done. Now what do we have? Disaccharides. So we are going to disaccharides here. First thing we need to include is definition, no, isn't it? They are also water soluble, isn't it? And then two disaccharides join together in a condensation reaction to form a two monosaccharides reacting in a condensation reaction to form a disaccharide, which is releasing one water molecule and forming a special type of bond. What is it? Glycosidic bond. So chemical nature, do we have to include that one? Yes. So it's a must. So I am telling that you have to mention about condensation reaction and how glycosidic bond is formed, right? I'm just adding the things which in a short format what you need to include. I'm not writing the full thing, right? You don't need to define, okay? Condensation reaction, glycosidic bond. How it is formed, right? Then the common disaccharides we know, we have to include the, actually not the equation. This is an essay, no, you have to write the equation in words. But I am writing the equations here for you to remind and write it again, okay? Hurry. This cone is also visible now today. Tell me what are the three examples that we know? Glucose and glucose. Maltose plus water. And glucose and galactose. This is sum of O-level knowledge, isn't it? Plus water. So when you are writing the answer, don't forget to write about function of each, okay? Each example, each function should be there. Then glucose and fructose will form sucrose plus water. Right. Then these examples you have to write in words, isn't it? Right. Now tell me, children, look at the tutor and tell me whether we wrote all about them. At the same time, you can mention about reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars also regarding like a common for these two, because those two are the only sugars that we are discussing here. So I'm adding that one also here. Mention about reducing and non-reducing sugars. Okay. Then I am moving to the last branch. What is it? Polysaccharides. We have to write the definition. Also special to mention that they are biopolymers, no, isn't it? As well as, yes, they are macromolecules. Right, if you remind the definition again, what are biopolymers? Molecules which are having more than one repeating unit, isn't it? And then macromolecules, molecules which are having larger molecular weight, we call it as macromolecules. Right. So what can you say about the water solubility? Insoluble. Hi. Then what are we going to do? We are writing examples and they are monomer and they are function, isn't it? So your table, do you remember that table? Right. So I'm just writing your table. You have to elaborate it and write. The functions are included into that one, no? So that you are writing that functions there. Okay. And don't forget to add the function of each of the things that you are mentioning in monosaccharides and disaccharides part. Alright. The newcomers, are you all having the resource book with you? Hari. So today you can share with your friends. You also can share with one of these friends, or else you can use your device. Yeah, okay. So I want everyone to try. This must be your very first essay. Others, it's not, I know. But I don't mind whether you are writing it wrongly or like whatever. I am the one who is marking, and let's see whether you are writing it in a good manner or whatever, right? I can comment about it, right? Actually, today I'm not going to mark, so that write in a paper, everyone. I'll be continuing with the lesson also because time is a big factor. Okay, right? So everyone, online students also, please do write, and I want you to send a clear photo of the essay after copying down this mind map, right? Mind map you can write in your writing book. That's fine, but answer should be in a paper. I'll be collecting everyone's answer scripts, and I'm going to give marks also at the end as we did before, right? So some of the essays that you have submitted. Oh, really? Wait, Imana. Can you hear me now? What about now? Not yet. Wait for a while, maybe internet issue. while others are writing, I'll talk a little to online students also about essays, right? You can continue while listening to what I talk. In our biology second paper, we have essay section, right? In that, we are given 6 essays. Out of 6, we have to write 4 essays. We have the chance to remove 2 essays and write 4 essays, right? In that, usually 150 marks are given for one single essay. Uh, Most of the times it will be having 37 to 40 points, which will multiply it by 4, 148 marks, additional points, 2 points, you will get 150 marks, okay? Mm, if there are diagrams and all that, you are going to get marks also for those also. I'm just telling what I repeated to everyone. So these diagrams, the labeling is important, right? This essay actually there are no diagrams, but let's say if you are asked to write the structure of the plasma membrane, you have to draw the diagram, you have to label it correctly. If the necessary amount of labels are not there, you are not going to get marks. Let's say they are given like this. Mm, let's say 10 labels, 6 marks. 4 to 5 labels, 3 marks. If you have not labeled, 0 marks. Likewise, they are deducting. So no use of drawing a picture if you are not going to label anything. Okay. Hi. The other thing is the number of points. That one like maybe vary, but usually I'm telling that if there's no diagram, the number of points is 37 to 40 points are considered, right? Okay, so the other thing is we are writing this in essay format. You can use one paragraph or few paragraphs. I personally like if you are breaking the paragraphs and writing, right? For example, in this essay, you can write basic chemical features in one particular essay, one particular paragraph, and then there are types of monosaccharides in one paragraph. Likewise, you can divide the paragraph. Finally, you can take functions into one paragraph also, right? If you like, you can write the functions at the same time also. That's totally fine. And the other thing is no introduction, no conclusion is included. Not like in your A level, O level you did in this, you did English literature, no? So it's not like that. This is just only taking only the relevant points, right? Usually, the time duration for an essay is half an hour, right? They are not particularly telling it's half an hour. If you can save the time from the other part, you can spend more than half an hour. But it's the time when we divide and take, you are getting half an hour per one essay. So that if you are going to wait more than half an hour in one essay means you are going to lose the time for the other essays, right? Okay. So that saving the time is also important. So the other thing is you can't generate the essays at the day of the exam. You have to pre-practice and go. That's the only way to reduce the time duration. Now let's see this one. You are writing, you are taking more than half an hour, no, isn't it? Think also you take time. But if you memorize this mind map, quickly you can write without an effort. Okay. Online students, if you are not like if you can't hear me properly, you have to log into the YouTube live and see whether you can still hear or not. If not, let me know. I think some issue with the Zoom, not with the microphone. The newcomers, did you get the new tutor also? Did you rewrite the what essay? Did I post you my answer? Yeah. No, usually they are giving once the payment is done. Did you do the payment today? All right, that's the thing, you know. For today, can you write in the writing book? My one is not steplet, can't give to you. That's the thing, right? Is that okay? Fine. I feel bad also. Come another. Right. Can you hear me now? Samai? I'm talking to you. All right. Thank you. Right. Okay, children, write this down in your writing book quickly. I'm going to the tute, the very first question. Tute is uploaded into the WhatsApp group. You also can get the tute, this first part tute. You can get it from the WhatsApp after you go home. Take a printout and do at home. That's totally fine. But next day onward, for everyone, you should have to have the tute. If you don't have the tute, just leave a message to the class and get it posted beforehand. Yeah. Okay, get the tute posted beforehand to the next class, because the tute is mandatory to be with you, because I'm not going to upload the PDF every time. Okay, so it's PDF is very confidential. Only few PDFs are given to you guys, not everything. Hurry. So okay, Imana, I didn't check the phone now. Right, I'll mark and get back to you on the next week regarding the essays. And I have some remaining tutes also, remaining questions also to mark the previous essay. Those who were not there in the class, you can try water essay also by going through the recordings, right? First two lessons are there in the YouTube channel. You can watch that also. And the water one, you have to go to the web and get that purchased, right? All right. So next one, the ask in the organelle which synthesize lipids. What is that? Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth ER. Alright. We will be learning about these things more in our next lessons. Now you know what will happen if you put oil into water. Will it dissolve? No. Water, it's not mixing with water, no? So that we say that it doesn't like water, it hates water. What is the correct term to describe that? Hydrophobic. Phobia means doesn't like. It hates water, isn't it? Hari. Second question is asking how do lipids interact with water? Right there. They are hydrophobic in nature. Simple terms, water hating. Don't write this in the exam, okay? Water hating nature. Alright, next question answer I told just before while. So you can write it alone. Write that answer there. Why lipids are not considered as biopolymers or macromolecules? Right there. Write the answer. We wrote the answer in writing book. You can get the answer from writing book and write the answer now. Yes. Why they are not considered as macromolecules? The molecular weight is low. And why they are not considered as biopolymers? They are not having repeating units. That's why. Their carbon number, they say that 12 to 24 like carbons are there. That's why their molecular weight is not that large. Okay. Shall I tell you one plus point in your class? Those things I really appreciate, not like in the other classes. You guys have studied and come, no? Isn't it? When I go through these previous sections, I can understand from that, right? Keep that as a habit, right? Always make sure that you will study after the class or like one day before the class also you can study and come. That if that becomes a habit, what will happen? It's easy for you to memorize the things. Whenever the content workload is high, you don't have to stress, isn't it? Right? I don't want my children to be stressed, right? Because we are prepared class, right? So at the end, we are going to the exam with lot of questions done and all prepared, right? So don't worry. Hari, shall we go to the next question? What can you tell about hydrogen to oxygen ratio of lipids compared to hydrogen to oxygen ratio in carbohydrates? What can we tell? It's more than 2:1. What's the meaning of that? Hmm? More hydrogen per one oxygen, right? So compared to carbohydrates, less oxygen is there. Harida. Okay, that's the meaning behind this. Okay, Harry, write the answer. More than 2:1 is the answer. If you want, write that and keep. Harry, Harry. Amazing. Are you all done? All right. So I'm going to talk about the types of lipids. There are three types of lipids we will be learning: fats, phospholipids, and steroids. Harida. Usually, yeah, you all know about coconut oil and this castor oil, whatever the oil found in animals and plants belong to fats. You know about butter fat and milk is also having fat. Those fats are belong to this category. Those lipids are belong to this category fats. And then phospholipids are found in where? In your plasma membrane. You all know about plasma membrane, right? It's a major component of your plasma membrane. So we are talking about this also. Then steroid. Have you heard about steroids? What are they important for? We all have hormones, no? So majority of our hormones are proteins, but very few are belong to steroid category. You may have heard about estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, estradiol, aldosterone, and cortisol. All are belong to steroid category. Steroid hormones are also there in our body. Right? those things we are going to learn. Write the answer and come. Mention 3 biological important types of lipids. Right. So we are going to talk about fats now. Fats are made up of 2 types of molecules. We call them as fatty acids and glycerols. I'm going to draw and show you the structure of the fatty acid, right? Fatty acid is having C double bond O, OH group. Now, the others who were there in the class, you know what this is. What is it? Carboxylic acid group, isn't it? So that's why this is known as an acid, isn't it? So this one, this carbon chain may be having many number of carbon and hydrogen here. Always around carbon, how many bonds are there? 4 bonds should be fulfilled, right? So this fatty acid is having 2 major parts. This section we called it as hydrocarbon chain. What is the meaning of that? Hydrocarbon chain means it's composed of hydrogen and carbon. You can see that only few oxygen are there, more hydrogen and carbon are there. That's why hydrogen to oxygen ratio is more than 2:1. Hari. And this part of the molecule we called it as carboxylic acid group. Carboxyl group also we can say. Hari, understood? Then glycerol, I will draw it and show you. Glycerol is like this. 3 carbon compound. 3 OH groups are there. All others are hydrogen. This is glycerol. Understood now? Alright, go to the writing book and draw this one, everyone. හරිද? Right, now go to the question, everyone. Asking what are the two components of fats? Write the answer there. Now we are going to see how fats are formed by combining these two molecules, right? This hydrocarbon chain, we actually draw like a zigzag like this also without showing carbon and hydrogen, okay? Similar to that. Here it's glycerol. How many carbon are there? 3 carbon compound. How many OH groups? 3 OH groups are there. Then hydrogen. Here is glycerol. Combine with 3 fatty acids. Not only one, 3 fatty acids. I'm drawing the hydrocarbon chain like this. How many fatty acid chains? 3 fatty acids. Now what's going to happen? Condensation reaction is going to happen. Water molecules are going to get removed from this, isn't it? How many water molecules are going to get removed? 3 water molecules going to get removed. Hi. So I'm drawing it here. 3H2O. You know that opposite of this also would happen. By adding this one, you can return back to the original version, isn't it? Right? Hi. Resulted molecule I'll draw after that. Please draw until that. So these are fatty acids, right? The type of reaction is condensation reaction. Forward arrow is the condensation reaction. What is the reverse arrow? Hydrolysis, right? Hydrolysis. The newcomers tell about the class to more people, okay? Others also. Now schools are started now. Almost every school is started now. Only thing is the ones who are expecting to go out to other schools, they didn't have schools yet, but the majority of students have started schooling now. Some have 2 days school, some have 5 days. All 5 days are there for some now, isn't it? So that compared to 2025 batch, I guess you guys will have a good advantage on that, because you know what, 2025 batch started a little late now, so that the schools I'm talking about, they are still doing third unit, right? The classes we have almost covered the fourth unit and about to start the fifth unit. So schools are a bit behind in the syllabus. So don't know what will happen to their exam time. For you guys, it will be on time. Can't predict in Sri Lanka. Can't say exact time. Okay. Hari. Done? Those who don't have the resource book, please purchase the resource book. Only place the major place to buy the resource book is NIE Maharagama, or else you can ask from me. I'll tell you another place to buy if you don't have a ability to purchase it from there. And the online version, PDF version, you can get it from the internet also. NIE site, go to the show other materials, you can get all three subject resource books. So you are so lucky. As I always tell, our time we didn't have any guided material as such. We are totally dependent on the teachers' instructions. So that nowadays you can use the resource book, you can check whether what we are teaching to you is correct or not. So it's a good advantage for you guys, right? So take the advantage, and also remember really well, this book is to be strictly followed. They are using the sentences as it is in the book, and they are using the key terms as it is in the book. So if you are not having the key terms in your answers, so you're not going to get marks. So the marking is that much strict with this current professor, right? Okay. All right. I'm going to reschedule this one to draw the resulted molecule. You're not going to reschedule your answer. So here, now a new bond is going to make in between these two molecules. This is the new bond. We are going to learn a new name. Last time we learned about glycosidic bonds in between fatty acids and glycerol. This is the new bond which we called it as ester bond. Okay. How many ester bonds are formed here? 3 ester bonds, right? Hurry. This complete colored one is the bond. Draw this as the resultant molecule after your diagram. And as a result, 3 water molecules are released. You have to add that 2 into your answer. Now come to the questions, everyone. First question is asking in the other side. Describe the nature of glycerol right there. It's a 3-carbon compound. It's a 3-carbon compound. 3-carbon compound. Which is having a single hydroxyl group, in H, which is having a single hydroxyl group in H. Hydroxyl group, you can write within brackets OH group. Another name for OH group is hydroxyl, okay? It belongs to alcohol group. It belongs to alcohol group. Alcohol, OH, if OH is there in chemistry, we call them as hydroxyl, OH group. This is actually biochemistry, as I told you, the chemistry behind biology, right? These subjects are not separable, right? These are clearly linked, right? So what you learn in chemistry is related to biology. What you learn in biology is related to chemistry, isn't it? Right. So next question is asking, describe the nature of a fatty acid right there. These are long hydrocarbon chains. These are long hydrocarbon chains. These are long hydrocarbon chains with terminal carboxyl group. These are long hydrocarbon chains with terminal carboxyl group. Now you can remember the picture, isn't it? There is C double bond OH, that is the terminal carboxyl group, and long fatty acid chain is there. Hydrocarbon chain is there. Hi. Next one, I know that you know the answer, but I want to take you to take a highlighter and highlight the ester bond there in the picture given in the field. You also can highlight what you drew in the picture. You used colors, no? That's fine then. Hi. How many fatty acids joins to form triglycerol molecule? Answer is 3. Right. Describe the formation of triglycerol molecule. I didn't write the name of the molecule there. This molecule, the name is triglycerol. Add that into your answer. Triglycerol. Right. Write the answer for the question now. 3 fatty acids are joining to a 3 fatty acids are joining to a glycerol molecule. In a condensation reaction. In a condensation reaction. This results removal of 3 water molecules. This results removal of 3 water molecules. And formation of how many ester bonds? 3. Formation of three ester bonds. Next two questions I am keeping you to answer. Write the answers. The first question is, what is the name for the special type of bond which is formed between glycerol and fatty acids? Next question, what kind of reaction happens when these bonds are being formed? Correct. What's the answer for the first question? Ester bond. Second question, condensation reaction. Very good. Right. Now I'm going to the next one, which we are going to talk about saturated fatty acids and unsaturated fatty acids, right? I'm drawing one molecule of fatty acid. This is the carboxyl group and here is the hydrocarbon chain. This one, you can see that only single bonds are available in between these carbon atoms, right? That means all four bonds are fulfilled here. This molecule is happy. No more space to get more hydrogen into the molecule, right? So, since this is happy, we call it as saturated fatty acids. So, what are saturated fatty acids? Fatty acids which are having a hydrocarbon chain which only have carbon-carbon single bonds, no double bonds. Understood now? Right. What is the opposite of this one? Unsaturated fatty acids. So, if the above one is happy, what should be this one? Unhappy, no? Isn't it? So, C double bond OH is here. Carbon number, I'm drawing whatever amount I feel it is good. It's not a mandatory number. So here is one double bond, here is another double bond. So always around carbon, four bonds are fulfilled. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it's 1, here it's 1, again 1, here 3 hydrogen, right? You can see one or more double bonds in the hydrocarbon chain. Those kind of fatty acids we call it as unsaturated fatty acids. They are still having chance to break this weak double bond and add more hydrogen, forcefully add hydrogen there, okay? So that they are unsaturated, not fulfilled, okay? Understood now? Hurry. I'll explain more. Go to the writing book and draw these two and come. Done. Come to the next question. How can we categorize, cut lipids there and write fatty acids? How can we categorize fatty acids according to the nature of the hydrocarbon chain? Saturated fats and unsaturated fats is the answer for that one. I'll tell you more about these molecules. Saturated fats are mostly animal fat. Example, butter, you can say cheese, those things are saturated fat. These are solids at room temperature. You know the nature of butter and all that, no? These are solids at room temperature. Then these are plant fats. Then examples are coconut oil or else castor oil. Correct? Those are examples. They are liquids at room temperature. Then what about margarine? Have you heard about margarine, the ingredients? What are we using? Vegetable oil. So, unsaturated fats. So, how it can become like nature of butter? No, that they have. Hmm? I guess I'm also not having the clear idea. I guess they are forcefully putting hydrogen into unsaturated fatty acid chain and making it into a saturated one. But still belong to this category. But you know, the nature comes because of that. You just have a little search about it. I'm also not sure about it. Hari, add this into what you wrote in the writing book and come. Now we are going to write the answer for the first question there. Second question there. What are saturated fatty acids? Write the answer. I'm reading. Fatty acids which do not have any double bonds. Fatty acids which do not have any double bonds. Within brackets, only single bonds. Close brackets. In the hydrocarbon chain. In the hydrocarbon chain. Are called as saturated fatty acids. They are mostly solids at room temperature. They are mostly solids at room temperature. Example, animal fat, Butter can be written as an example there. Next one, unsaturated fatty acids. Right there, fatty acids which have one or more double bonds. Fatty acids which have one or more double bonds in the hydrocarbon chain. These are mostly liquid at room temperature. These are mostly liquid at room temperature. Example, plant fat, coconut oil, castor oil, anything you can write. Alright, read up to that and study well. I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes to study. Okay. little by little, I'm teaching you guys little bit of chemistry also. That day I talked about isomers. You may remember, right? Isomers. Isomers are having same chemical formula but different structural arrangement, isn't it? Different spatial arrangement also we can say. So we are going to talk about cis and trans unsaturated fatty acids, right? So depending on the way they arrange on the space, we are having two types, okay? Let's draw it and see. C double bond O, OH, C. Let's say there is one double bond here. Others are all just single bonds. I'm drawing one more. Right. Now everyone count the number of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen and see whether both molecules are same or not. Count and see. Okay. Sure. Yeah. How was the lesson for you? Okay. Count it. Others say yes. That means same chemical formula. But I would say that they have different spatial arrangement. It's here, it's something like this. You can see. And here it's something like this. Alright? You know, because of this, sometimes the hydrocarbon chain is going to get bent. Look at the two pictures given to you. The first picture is having hydrocarbon chain bent in a way, isn't it? Bent. That one, yeah. Hydrogen atoms to one side, we call it as cis unsaturated fatty acids. Then this one, trans, it's trans, right? So we call it as trans unsaturated fatty acids. Okay? So highlight these two in your diagrams. And I want you to go to writing book and write these two down. Okay? If these two are to same side, we call it as cis. If it is two sides, trans. This is trans. Structures will again taught you in organic chemistry. You don't need to memorize how to draw these structures. Just remember the way that they have arranged. Done? Right, I'm erasing children. Are you all done? Have you heard about heart attacks and strokes? Heart attacks, you know. Heart, no, it's happening. Strokes happening in the brain. Right. What's the reason for strokes and heart attack? Blood supply is blocked because of what? Yeah, fat depositions, right? So we are going to talk about what's the reason behind this. There is something called atherosclerosis. What is happening in the atherosclerosis? The arteries are narrowing due to deposition of fats, isn't it? So thereafter, some blood particles, platelets, blood cells, platelets may block these arteries after being narrowed down, isn't it? So that the blood supply to the other side would not occur properly, right? This can happen in any of the artery in the body, but it's vital when it is damaging to one of the arteries which is supplying blood to the heart. Coronary arteries are the ones which are supplying blood to the heart. Then if some artery producing blood to the brain, that is also problem. What is being lost if the artery is blocked? Oxygen supply is lost. Can these organs work without oxygen supply? So that it's really a big problem nowadays, no? Remember in the first lesson we discussed about non-communicable diseases. These are the major non-communicable diseases nowadays, very serious problem. Majority of people are dying because of these heart attacks and strokes. Am I correct? Right. So this is because of deposition of these types of fats. Saturated fats and which one? Trans unsaturated fats. One more thing is there. What is it? Cholesterol. Because of deposition of the atherosclerosis would happen. Finally, it may lead to blockage of the arteries, isn't it? Which can cause serious damages, isn't it? So, is this only happening for elderly people? No, it's for us also. With time, depending on the food that we eat, little by little, arteries are narrowing down. One of the consultant uh, which is treating to my father, he told a nice story about it. He is telling that even from little age, from the things that we eat, it's like a drainage lines, right? So the pipeline, when you are having pure water, also still some particles are there, no, they are depositing with time and narrowing down the vessel, isn't it? So likewise, us also with time it will happen. Nowadays, it's very common among people, 30s and 40s people also dying because of this. Sometimes even the little age also, no, isn't it? So we have to be careful about the food that we eat. Saturated fats are found in animal fat. Trans unsaturated fats are found in plant. So plant fats, not all fats are not good. Some plant fats are not good to eat. So cholesterol is the other thing. Cholesterol is produced within the body itself. Okay. Come to this one. Uh, What are the two types of unsaturated fats based on the nature of their double bond? What is the answer? Cis unsaturated fats, trans unsaturated fats. Write the answer. Cis unsaturated fats, trans unsaturated fats. Next, asking which of the above mentioned fatty acids are causing atherosclerosis? Right there, excess saturated fats. Excess word should be there. And excess trans unsaturated fats. Correct. So you may wonder what food contain these trans unsaturated fats now. They have given examples: margarine, vegetable shortening, ghee, fried foods, baked goods such as crackers, biscuit and peas. Those are having trans unsaturated fat. So more consumption of those also not good for your health, right? So you have to be very careful about what you eat. Nowadays we are not thinking much also, no? We are eating a lot. Sometimes they say that not to eat Maggi noodles, right? But you guys, you like, no? Maggi noodles, no? And they say not to drink Coca-Cola, but sometimes children are buying Coca-Cola and drinking, no? Right. So think about those things that you eat. So actually that the rate of deaths because of stroke and heart attacks is nowadays very high, right? You know, very recently it's very common in our age people also, even like the 30s, 40s people also dying because of that. So later on it may be coming to your age also. So be careful, right? So that's it. Right. Then asking, briefly explain what is happening in this is atherosclerosis. Right there, hardening of arteries, hardening of arteries, and build fatty deposits. Hardening of arteries and build fatty deposits called plaques inside the arteries. Inside the arteries. Right there, a plaque can build up until it restricts. A plaque can build up until it restricts The flow of blood, the flow of blood. A plaque can build up until it restricts the flow of blood through the artery or even blocks completely. Through the artery or even blocks completely. I'm not going to write that if it is blocking the blood supply to the brain or heart, it is vital, right? So we are not going to write that. You should know that, okay? Harder. Right. Tell me whether you understood up to now. Okay. All right. Then we are going to see the phospholipid structure also. Go to the picture that is given and look at the picture also. Right. So I told that major components of lipid is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So phospholipid is an exception. It is having phosphorus and nitrogen too. Given picture is showing phosphorus. Where is nitrogen? Can you see there's a group R? R can be this one, right? I'll draw it and show you. You don't need to memorize this one, but remember it can have nitrogen too. Right? R group can be this one. So it can have nitrogen also, right? Hari. Look at the picture. The phospholipid is having a head which is having a glycerol molecule and a phosphate group and an R group, isn't it? And it has two hydrocarbon chains attached to it, isn't it? So this head likes water, so that we call it as hydrophilic head. Then head is like in favor with water. It likes water. Tail, these are two tails, right? It can be one or two. Most of the times it has two tails. Tail is hydrophobic in nature. Understood now? So the tail doesn't like water, head likes water. So that if you put phospholipids into water, this is how it forms the structure. Right. Since head likes water, heads are turned towards the water environment. The tails are moving to inside, which is heads are acting like a shield where the tails doesn't meet water. Got it? This structure we call it as micelle. Are it? Come to the free space that is given After the second question, describe the reaction of phospholipid molecules with water. Draw this one. Only this picture. Right. In the plasma membrane also, these phospholipids are arranged nicely in a manner. Always the head is facing towards the water. Let's say this is a cell. The outside is water, no? Inside is also water. So they have nicely arranged like this. Heads are tightly packed. So the tails are facing towards the interior. So this one, it's arranged like this. Can you understand? Surrounding this is the structure. Always head is facing towards the watery environment outside the cell and inside the cell. And the tails are always doesn't like water. They are facing inwards. Understood now? Hurry, come to the next, the previous question, previous page. What is the main function of phospholipids? Right there. Contribute to form the structure of the plasma membrane. Contribute to form the structure of the plasma membrane. Come to the last one. Next question, next page. Asking about the nature of the phospholipid molecule. I'm going to read the answer right there. Phospholipids are composed of two fatty acids. Phospholipids are composed of two fatty acids and one phosphate group attached to one glycerol molecule. One glycerol molecule. Next one. The phosphate group gives a negative electrical charge to the phospholipid molecule. You may see in the picture O minus is there, no? That's why it's negative, right? Okay. Typically, an additional polar molecule, typically an additional polar molecule or small charged molecule is also linked to the phosphate group. Is linked to the phosphate group. Is also linked to the phosphate group. Example, choline. 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 Hari. I'm quickly finishing the rest of it also. You can wait for 10 minutes now. Hari. Describe the reaction of phospholipid molecules with water. Do they dissolve? No. When you put water and oil together and if you shake, what will happen? You can see some globules are formed there, no? Means that micelles are formed, isn't it? Those globules are the ones that we draw here, right? Hari, right there. If phospholipids are placed in water, they form micelles. If phospholipids are placed in water, they form micelles. Next point, the phospholipid molecules arrange themselves in a spherical form in an aqueous solution. Right. If I tell you about steroids are ring structures, right? So steroids, I told that some hormones are steroids. I'm giving the examples for steroid hormones found in our body. Estrogen, what we are learning in our lesson, it's a precursor of estrogen, estradiol. Next one is testosterone. Progesterone, aldosterone, and cortisol. Alright? Those are the 5 steroid hormones that we are learning. Go to the last question and write this down. Hi. The functions of lipids, as you all know, lipids are energy sources. That's the main function of lipids, isn't it? Other than that, they are forming some structures such as structure of the plasma membrane is made up of phospholipid, isn't it? And also they can act as hormones also, right? Go home and literally read the functions of hormones and fill the next question and come when you are coming. Okay. Next day I'll be asking questions from this section. I finished the lipid section along with the functions. You can read and write now. Hari, tell me whether you understood the lesson, everyone. How was it? Good. Hari, your essay will be marked and discussed on next day. I'll go through and I'll tell you what are the places that you need to correct. And always when I mark and give, please rewrite it, okay? With the correction. Right. Then see you on the next day, everyone. Good evening and have a nice day. Okay, children. Bye. See you. It's okay. Don't worry. First, say bye. See you. Bye. God bless you. Bye. See you. Bye. Bye. I was listening. Okay. Bye.